Hello, this tutorial will go over the basics of signing up and submitting certified payroll reports through Elations. So the first step is, once you get to the Elations website, is to click on the registration link and then select the option to register as a contractor, subcontractor, vendor, or consultant. The form is pretty self-explanatory. The only thing to note is that the promotion code is BART _ 2021. And then once you submit this form, you will receive a confirmation email with a link that you need to click on before we can continue. And once you sign into the Elations website, you will be guided to the main menu, where you should see the BART headquarters project on your list of projects. If you do not, then it's possible that you have not yet been added to the project, and you must be added, which is the first option you select here on this menu. Another thing that I'd like to point out quickly is up here on the top right, you'll see some important system alerts. If one of your payroll reports is rejected, or is there some other important notice, you'll see it there. So be sure to take a look at those before you click on the X and go on. Now we will begin by assigning employees, which is the option where you can add employees to the project, or select previously added employees to this project. And so we'll click on the Add Employee link. And it's a pretty simple, self-explanatory form, but I will note a couple of things here. First, you want to make sure that you select a valid and correct employee home address, because the workforce participation goals are based on locality. Those zip codes are very important. The other thing you should note is that here you can upload the apprentice certificate for any workers that you are adding as apprentices. Then once you've added the workers, you can select the next option, which is to assign the classifications and the fringe benefits for the workers. And so here we would assign the classifications for the workers. And in this case, we'll go with Mr. Barnes and select the classification. And on this menu, the location will be pre-selected, and also the applicable wage decision, which in this case is 2020-1. The project-specific classification is not applicable, and also the OJT and pre-apprentice options are not available. You can only select a journeyman or apprentice. And in this case, we'll select a journey level worker, and then we'll put them down as an asbestos removal worker, because they're right at the top of the list. Asbestos removal specialist 1, and then move on. Once you've added the worker there, you can indicate the allocations, and these are the advisory allocations provided by DIR, and these can vary from what would be required by your particular union contract or other benefit agreement, but these are the ones that are advisory allocations for this particular craft. And here you would indicate who the check is payable to. This is important information. If it is being paid to the particular benefit trust fund, and indicate the name of the trust fund and the address. And then you want to indicate the effective date. This is particularly important if there's an increase in the wages that falls in the middle of a pay period. So if you have wages for a particular pay period that must be paid at 2 different rates, this is where you would indicate that. And if something like that comes up and you have any questions, do let me know. We can help you when that comes up. So once you've added the worker there, you can go on to the next option, which is to submit the certified payroll reports. Now you have 3 main options, which is to submit the certified payroll reports manually, automatically, which is based on the template. And we won't go over that option here, but you can explore that later. And then the no work performed reports, which we'll also go into briefly. When you click on the CPR manual, you will see your list of previously added workers here, and we will select again Mr. Barnes, and we will say that he did 2 crafts for this particular week. And then up here, you can select that this is your last report for the project, which will mark it as a final report, which is important when you are in fact submitting your final report. It's important to mark it, because that way you will stop getting those reminder emails that you have not been submitting your certified payroll reports in a timely manner, and other notices from the project. So click there, go to submit, and then you will see the main data entry form for certified payroll reports. And up here, you can click on this, and you can then select the other classification that we just added, which is the asbestos removal worker. And in this case, we'll say that Mr. Barnes did 2 different types of work during this week. So one day he worked as an asbestos removal worker. The next day he worked as brick tender, and then back to asbestos removal worker. One day he worked half a day here and half a day there. And then finally, we indicate this, the rest of the hours. Here you would indicate the gross amount earned, and you want to put down all of this information from your from the paycheck stubs, including the deductions. I won't put these deductions here because it's just test data, but you also want to make sure that you include the proper check number, and that you include your payroll number for this particular payroll period. And then you can click on statement of compliance / submit. And if you did everything right, you will get the first of several warnings reminding you that although this is a test project and this is pretend data, you will be submitting real certified payroll reports that are submitted under penalty of perjury. And there are a number of things that means. And some of these warnings will go into those in further detail. So click here, confirm, and then you will move on to the rest of the certified payroll report. Again, these are signed under penalty of perjury. This is an electronic signature, but it's still a signature. And this is a fake data on a fake project. So I'm going to submit this without signing it. But that's not an option for you. This is just for example purposes. And then once you submit it there and everything's been done correctly, you will see that your certified payroll report is listed here on the list with a green arrow pointing to the right. That means success. That means that that report is viewable to the district, and that we can consider that a report that has been submitted for purposes of approving payment applications and payments, et cetera, all those good things. If you notice down here, you have a report that is in the draft form, which is a yellow arrow pointing to the right. That report is viewable to you and can be amended by you, but is not viewable by the district and is not considered submitted. It has not been submitted under penalty of perjury, and we can't consider it for purposes of approving payment applications, payments, et cetera. So keep that note. Also, when you list your certified payroll reports, you'll see here that this one's listed, and it shows a red circle with an X. That means that that report was rejected for whatever reason. So you'll want to review that and correct this deficiency. And then the final option that I'll show you here is how to submit reports when you're not performing any work. So you click again on the submit CPR option from the menu and click on no work performed. And here you also have the option of saying that this is your last report. In this case, it is not. You also have, and I think this may be useful for some of you, the option of submitting reports in advance. If you know that you're not going to be coming back to the project for a definite period of time, you can submit reports for up to 20 weeks in advance, and do so there. And that, in a nutshell, is how to submit certified payroll reports using Elations.